So, I'd like to welcome to the stage a phenomenal speaker. Many of you already know him for sure, and he's been in the field of sales and marketing for over 20 to 30, how old are you? 35 years, right? And he has a restless passion for adventure and life. Please put your hands together for the amazing, the phenomenal Malcolm Sod!
From heaven, y'all gotta get fed.
Am I on? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Wayne. Good morning. So, just a great pleasure to be here again, to be able to share with you for a second day. I had a number of people yesterday come up and ask me, about the business. Do you need to be as high tech in the business as Alan Fitzgerald and I am? And the answer is no, not really, but we are quite advanced in high tech now. We can do text messages, we can do an email. I'm a bit of a Facebook Twitterer, and I send a lot of stuff to the clouds these days. And I don't know where it goes after it goes to the clouds, but it's interesting. So, I've got my clicker, and I've got some notes, so I'm going to do the best I can to share with you. My topic for this morning is to catch the vision, and I think really after yesterday, probably most of you kind of get this now. The space that we are in is incredible. You heard from so many different speakers. I thought yesterday was probably one of the best day sessions I've ever been through, and I've been journeying through this industry for a long time. So to all of the speakers, to the corporate team, would you just give them a round of applause? I just thought it was absolutely sensational. Yesterday was fantastic. So today we're here to kind of give you a little bit more information about the opportunity. I've got a number of things that I'm going to try and cover with you in the next 30 minutes to try and share with you the vision that we have to take this company forward to at least $1 billion and beyond. I'm kind of dart around a little bit. I've got some notes, but you kind of know already I don't kind of speak to them very much. So I was thinking about this overnight. Why do some people succeed in a business like this and some people not succeed? What is that? And I remember years ago hearing from somebody, and here's the answer that a lot of you are probably going to have to find. You have to find a vision, a dream, bigger than your fear. If you go to all of the authors, if you read Tony Robbins, he talks about, what does he talk about on contrast? What does Tony Robbins speak to in contrast? Anybody read any of Tony Robbins' work? What does he talk about? The pain. You need to read some Tony Robbins. The pain and the pleasure. So you're either moving towards pain, towards pleasure, or you're doing something to avoid the pain. And once you get a reason big enough, the reason people struggle with a business like this is not because of the how-to stuff, it's because they haven't locked onto their emotional reason why. You know, if Denny Robinson was on the stage, she would share with you, you must find a why that makes you cry. And it's not going to be for a washing machine, it's not going to be for a new tyre or a new set of tyres for your car, it's not going to be for a car. It's got to be a driver that burns inside here. And some of you heard me say this before. Who in here's got little children, little rabbits? Young rabbits. Julie, how old is your youngest rabbit? 12. Little boy or little girl? Little girl? May I ask her name? Jessie. Oh, that's my oldest girl's name, Jessie. Do you love Jessie? Would you do anything for her? So you're ready to go diamond. I know I was talking to you before. You're ready to go diamond. So at the end of the year, at the end of this year, if I said to you, if you do not reach triple diamond at the end of the year, I will take the life of your 12-year-old daughter. Sorry? It would be done. Okay, so you didn't ask me how, you didn't ask me how many phone calls, you didn't ask what do you say when somebody says this, you didn't ask me what videos do you send, what links do you send, what do you give people when they say this or that or anything. You didn't say any of that. You just said, say what you said again? It would be done. So when you get to that place that it's done, regardless of what your circumstances tell you or the obstacles that you have to go around through, it will be done. And see, that's the struggle that most people have in a business like this. Most people are intent on finding all of the answers in the how and the hows. It always surrenders to the dream. And you have to find something emotional like that. I was sharing that with a lady who's probably in here right now, yesterday. In fact, there was two ladies sitting at the lunch table and they were both crying. And that's what it's got to be. You've got to move yourself to the emotional place. The rest of it is kind of academic. The rest of it, people ask me all the time, what do you send, what information do you send out? I said, well, I don't really know. What do you send to this person? I said, well, whatever I think of at the time. You know, provided it's reasonably relevant. So here's the point of that. You cannot say the right thing to the wrong person. You can't say the right thing to the wrong person. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person. I think I shared with you yesterday, you might have heard me recently say that, you know, this should be like waving raw meat in front of a savage dog. Like when this was waved in front of Richard Lee, he was like a savage dog, weren't you, Richard? It was all over this, like a rat up a rope. It's just, you know, when you're with the right person at the right place at the right time. It's just the timing and being with the right person. And then it's not what you send them. It's not that. Now, I don't send them, you know, Mickey Mouse cartoons. I send them information on a seer. The right people are going to find the right information to make the decision. The key is to find somebody that's got a why. Does that make sense? Does that help you go triple diamond, Julie, this year? Because we need more triple diamonds in this room, and it's about time we saw Julie Wesley as a triple diamond. So that was nothing to do with my notes. So what do we got here? Okay, let's have a look at a seer. Let me just give you some bullet points on why a seer is so significant. We're operating in 33 countries. We are very young in this industry, taking this technology to the world. So we talked about, I think it was you, Wayne, yesterday spoke about antioxidants discovered in the 1920s. I first heard about antioxidants in the 1980s. 60 years, is that right? 60 years after they were first kind of made famous. Redox is kind of gaining traction faster than that, for obvious reasons, lots and lots of different reasons, mainly because of us. But here's the point, we're in 33 countries. Sally, how many countries are in the world? You've been to a lot more countries than I have. How many in total, do you know?
I only know I've been to over 100.
You've been to over 100. That's a lot of countries. I think there's over 200. So we're in 33 of 200. So we're whatever that is, 1/12th, 1/15th? Do the math. We haven't even scratched the scratch on the scratch of the scratch. The biggest populated regions in the world, we are not even there yet. You know, because we've been going here 4 years, we are just beginning. If you look at the graph, the chart, we are just on the J-curve. You could not be coming to this business at a better time. Some of you in here are brand new. This is your first experience. You are at the right place, at the right time, in the right time with history. You're never going to see this again. I don't even think if you're in your 30s like me, you're not going to see this again. This is a once-in-a-lifetime chance to take a technology like this to market. There's a great video. I don't know if you've watched this video. I share this with people all the time. You want to write this one down. It's called Transformational Technology and a Seer. And it runs for about 5 minutes. And it's probably the best description of why this is so unique. About why this is such a unique opportunity. This video was cut probably about 7 or 8 years ago. It was pre the gel. He's really only speaking to the supplement. But it's something that I share with people who have an entrepreneurial spirit. But here's why it's the best time for you if you're just looking at this. We have more technology, we have more information, we have more validation, we have more testimonials, we have an increasing number of doctors coming on board, naturopaths coming on board, that understand this science and this technology. I do not understand the technology, so I don't go down that rabbit hole because I don't have the authority to speak to the science or to the wellness. So when I get somebody that's really, really ill, I put them in touch with Wayne Pixton. He's ever so gracious to speak with these people. That's not what I do. I'm not going to stand in that role and suggest people what they should take and other things that they do. That's not what I'm good at. That's not my role. So if you don't know how the science works, the same with a mobile phone, I don't know how that works. But I know if I've got signal, it works. So when I'm talking to people about the technology and they ask how it works, I said, look, if your house is burning down right now, what are you going to do? They said, well, I'll call the fire brigade, which is great if you've got signal. If you've got no signal, your house is going to burn down. I understand it's the same with redox molecules in your body. Is that a fair analysis? If you haven't got enough, your house, you're going to have problems. That's kind of what it does. So I talk to people like that, but it's not about specifics. If you want to deal with specific, put them in front of people that have got that kind of information. But that little video, that 5-minute video on transformational technology will help you if you want to attract the entrepreneurs. Very few people, as you know, have heard of redox signaling molecules. I would say that of 1,000 calls that I might make, 1,000 telephone calls that I might make to people, I cannot remember the last time I opened a conversation with somebody and they said, I've heard of redox molecules. I don't find anybody that's ever heard of redox molecules. That's what we do. We are at the forefront of delivering this technology, so we have the whole market to ourselves. Now, some people say, well, when it's more well known, we'll do better. Did you ever hear the story about the salesman that was sent to Africa to sell shoes? Anybody heard that story? So the salesman was sent from England to sell shoes in Africa. And he called back to the home office after 6 weeks and he says, you know, this is just such a useless market. I don't know why on earth you've sent me out here, because nobody wears shoes. It's ridiculous. So they sent him home. They took him back to England. Then they sent out another guy who went to Africa. 6 weeks later he says, this is the most unbelievable opportunity out here. Nobody wears shoes. Because it depends on what you want to see in the opportunity. Most of us down the front, we're kind of licking our lips like, how long has this been going on? Nobody's here. Do you know in New Zealand there's nobody home right now? The largest, you know what the highest ranking associate, and I was told this last week by Kim Hill, and I was floored by this, the highest ranking associate in New Zealand right now is a silver. It's the highest rank in New Zealand, 6.5 million people. Now some of us in here are going to do something about that this year, because I think New Zealand needs 10 or 20 diamonds within the next 12 to 18 months. And some of you in here will probably put those in. So here's my attitude: if nobody else is prepared to go, I'll go. So if nobody else wants to cut the territory, thank you very much, because somebody will take it. Might as well be us. So the opportunity around the world is really exciting. I got a call from Christina this morning, because this is how we're now starting to move in the world. This is what's happening, maybe without you knowing. Has anybody heard of a place, because I hadn't really heard of it, I think I had. Has anybody heard of a place called Guadalupe? Do you know where it is? It's in the Caribbean. It's in the Caribbean somewhere. It's about half an hour from Martinique. Right now, as we're here, there's 200 people in Guadalupe having a meeting about a seer in a tiny little place called Guadalupe in your business park. It's pretty cool, isn't it? And you didn't even know that.
First meeting on the island.
First meeting on the island, 200 people. Now, this has nothing to do with my notes, but it's interesting. This gentleman, Willie, who's in Martinique, He's just stood up. He understands the significance of this. He's just leading. He's there on his own, although Edward and Jurgi Hochi's there right now, helping him. But this man is just a lead. He's got the vision. He's got the passion. These are the kind of people that we need with us, see, the visionaries. We need these kind of people on board. And we need a few of those in New Zealand as well right now. So if anybody knows some key people in New Zealand, we're going to be over. It's got nothing to do with my notes either. The next thing, you probably gathered that most of you, if you saw Tyler Norton for the first time share this weekend, he's a significant human being. Would you agree with that? Yeah. Very significant man. And what's I'm so grateful for is that I guess he's in his mid-40s, that this company now is going to be led for the next 25 years. So for those of us that are, on the wrong side of 35, to have somebody, and I said this to him at dinner the other night, to have somebody like him that is going to lead this company for the next 25, 30 years, for us that are leaving legacies, if you're here to create a legacy for your children, I think is just incredible. So, we are in the right place, we are in the right time, we have the right technology, and you'll not see this again. I hope you kind of get that impression that we're not ever going to see this again. And many of us have journeyed up and down the mountain in this industry. In my own case, 28 years of experience. I've been through the high highs and I've been through the really low lows. Some of you have experienced that. If you're new to the industry, you would not know just how lucky you are to be in this place at this time. This is such an incredible gift, but you've got to do something with it. It's like the parable of the talents. If you just bury the talent, it's not going to do anything for you. You have to go out and multiply and use the talents and share this gift with people. The biggest thing is get over your fear. What are people going to say to you? Well, I don't know what they're going to say. They're either going to say yes or they're going to say no. I've been dealing with people telling me no for the last 40 years. Never drawn blood. Can you imagine? Of the thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands, nobody's ever drawn blood. I got very close one time with a gentleman who was working with what's the Builders Labourers Federation? Remember the old BLF? And he and I were diametrically opposed, and we nearly came to fisticuffs. Fortunately, he walked away. But that's the only time. It was just like, you know, it was pretty tense there for a while. But we were really opposed. But that's not going to happen. You're not going to get hurt. The worst thing anybody's ever going to say to you is no. So sometimes people say, what's the worst thing that can happen? Well, the worst thing that can happen in a business like this is you don't call somebody, and then Bart Cotter calls them. Instead, you don't call them. They're on your list and they're on his list. You don't call them. He calls them and they go diamond. That's a big mistake. Huge. So that's the worst thing that I look at. Kind of, maybe you talk about fear of loss, Bart, a lot. It might be the fear of loss. I'm kind of concerned that, you know, I might not find those people and somebody else might find them. Same in New Zealand right now. I'm kind of thinking, okay, well, while nobody's looking, I'm going to sneak in there under the radar. I did tell everybody. It's close to us, isn't it? Really close. Okay, let me go to some other notes because I'm kind of wandering around here a little bit. So I want to just share with you a little bit of who's in the nosebleed today? Where are you in the nosebleed section? Okay, all of those you go. Some of you 4 years from now, you realise you could be Ambassador Triple Diamonds. Anybody want to be Ambassador Triple Diamond in 4 years? Show me your hands. Okay, we've got that on camera. So, and of course that's really your choice. Let me just go back. I want to share a little bit about the story I shared probably a little bit yesterday, and it helps to remind me, you know, where I am, but also where I came from. There's a great saying I love that Terry Latham says about building the business, and that is, when you build a business like this, you've got to think like a millionaire. You've got to lift your mindset, belief. I kind of spoke to that yesterday. You must do that. How do you do that? Listen to audibles. Listen. Have a mentor. Listen to audibles. Reset. You reprogram your mind. If you're struggling, it's because of you. If you're struggling with where you're going, it's because of the internal dialogue that's going out. And if you don't think it is, I'll speak to you and I'll hear the words coming out and we'll tell what is really happening in your dialogue. Does that make sense? You're hung by the tongue. So that comes out because it emanates from your subconscious. Once you change that program, once you reprogram that script, and we're the only creatures on planet Earth can reprogram. You can completely rewire. And I'm talking to the person in here that believes they can't build this or can't do anything. I'm speaking to you because that's where I was 4 years ago, decimated, absolutely decimated. Somebody mentioned yesterday about Uber. Somebody mentioned about driving an Uber. Was it Tyler or Jerome? They mentioned about Uber. I'd forgotten this. Before I started building my seer business, I got my Uber license because I was going to be an Uber driver. And you know why I wasn't an Uber driver? Because the car I had was too old. I said, you don't qualify. And I couldn't borrow any money. I was down to gurgler. So I was stuck. I thought, well, I can't do that either. So I guess I'll have to build a seer business. That's a true story. So some of you, I don't know whether this will help you, but I'd kind of lost everything. I lost my home in France. I had a beautiful home in France. Beautiful home in France. I lost my big house here. I pretty much lost everything. I lost my best mate. He kind of died. We did some property development together, and he kind of died from the stress of that. So that was kind of. What's next? Catch the vision. You got the vision yet? I don't even know where this click. Okay, so we're moving away from that. So here's what happened. So I sat down with Bart and said, look, I've got to get $100 a week. Some of you like are right there. $100 a week, simple. So wherever you think, don't think about triple, dipple, whatever. Don't even think that. It's like trying to climb a mountain and you're looking at the summit and saying, gee, I wonder if I can jump it. Just don't even think, don't put yourself under the stress of that. You don't need to be a triple, dipple, whatever. Just get yourself to direct to 300. Do that. Can you do that? Okay, ask for help, get some books, figure out how can I call a few people that get the thing done, direct to 300, whatever it makes, $100 a week. Does $100 a week help anybody in here like it would me? All those years, just $100 a week. You can do that. Ask somebody, can you help me? Somebody in your upline, can you help me just to make $100 a week, please? And then once you get $100 a week, then you can go to $200 a week. So if you can enroll 1, you can enroll 2. If you can enroll 2, you can enroll 3, 5, 10. It's just a process. The process that I had was I started enrolling people that I probably shouldn't have enrolled, really. I mean, most of them didn't even have any teeth. They were like, if you saw the people, I mean, I don't know if Big Al's going to tell you about one of the guys here, and I registered. I hope you're going to tell that story. You think you prospect down. You wait until you hear this story. It's like, my goodness. I'll leave that for you, Big Al, to tell that one. But I've sponsored all kind of people that, do you know why I sponsored them? Because every time I looked in my back office and I saw my name there, it made me feel like a little win. I had to build the belief little by little in me. I was sponsoring people that if you looked at them, you'd shake your head and say, what is he doing? And I'm sure Bart and Doyley were looking at me like, what on earth what is he putting these people in for? Because I had to start there from no belief, from lack of self-image, from lack of everything, to start again and to try and rebuild. And every time I put somebody in, it made me feel a little bit better about, maybe I can build this, maybe I can build. I saturated myself with Bob Proctor, You Were Born Rich. There's a book that'll change your life, You Were Born Rich. I remember listening, I was on the way to Sydney and I heard this statement, you get in life who you are. And let that sink into your thing. I just tick a box up here. It's a really deep thing, like you get in life who you are. And I had to pull off the road. I had to replay that over and over. So what do you mean you get in life? You get in life who you are? What do you mean? What does that mean? Like you mean I caused the bankruptcy? I caused my divorce? I caused losing my house and my beautiful black Porsche? Beautiful black Porsche. Gone. You mean I did all that? Yeah, I did all that. Who created it? Well, it was you. Must have been you, Bart. Must have been you. You must have caused all that stuff. Got to be somebody else's fault. Couldn't be me. Couldn't be me until I finally got it that I took responsibility for the rubbish, what I'd created, who I was, and everything I'd done. But here's the magic of that. I thought, well, hang on. If I created that, what could I recreate? What could I recreate? And the answer is in, I think, a few things. Number one, transforming you. The person in here who feels the least, with nothing right now going for them, maybe you've had no track record of success, just like Richard Bliss Brooke all those years ago, 1977. I mean, when he came to the function, if he was introduced to his upline diamond, he's a chicken boner. I mean, what would his upline have been thinking? I think this bloke's going to make it. But nobody knew what was going on in him and his ability to transform himself. So here's a man that goes from zero, no experience, and in 4 years, 5 years, an organisation of 30,000 people. Who in here with nothing would like to have an organisation of 30,000 people in 4 or 5 years? All of you should be putting your hands up. Even if you don't know how to monetize that, you've just helped 30,000 people and helped Vertus Norton get this to the world. So that should be exciting. So I'm just kind of running out of time. So this is, I haven't even kept any of my notes. I hope this has kind of helped some, if it's helped one person in here, I hope it's helped you. So here's what I did. I just kept putting people in. I'm still putting people in. I'm still enrolling people, but the type of people I'm putting in now is probably a little bit better than they were. You attract who you are. So hopefully I'm a little more of an improved version, but I needed to be broken in order to come back. I'd made a mess of everything, including handling money. I've always made a lot of money, but I've always had a propensity to spend more. That's not a recipe for financial success. You know, if you're making 400,000 and spending 500, you know that's not a good recipe. That's not a good recipe. So I had to go back and learn all that. There's a man in here, I don't know if he's here today, Johnny Hargraves, and many years ago he said this to me. He might have said it to the audience, but I felt like he was saying it to me. You know, when somebody's speaking, you kind of feel that they're just talking to you. And he said this, he said, you know, at times, he said, God's going to have to prune you. He's just going to have to prune you like a vine. And I went up to him recently and I said, you know, he didn't just prune me, he got the angle of the stump grinder out and stumped the whole thing. There was nothing left. There was nothing left. And then after a few months, I kind of felt there was a little, you know, when the little twig comes out. You know, I did that to a mango tree. I actually stumped it, or took it down, and there was just about that much left. And I thought, I think I've killed it. You know, probably like people thought I was dead as a ferret too. I think a lot of people thought I was dead as a ferret. I thought I was dead as a ferret too. And then I went away for a while. I came back and the mango tree was it's just roaring into life now. Roaring into life. Because if the roots are strong, and if you've got strong roots, strong tap roots, then you wait to see what happens with this opportunity. You have the greatest gift that I think we will ever see to help people's health, to help people's wealth in both. We got it all. We got a company that is unique. We've got a category of technology. Not that I understand it fully, but I get calls every single day now from people who give me these remarkable stories about their health transformation. You know, I've got a man in here, I don't know if he's here, Greg Evans, I think he might be up to date. For 35 years, this man wasn't allowed to drive. 35 years, and now he's on the roads. I mean, that's just incredible. But don't ask me how it works, he just tells me that's how it works. I'm out of time. I hope it's been helpful. I didn't keep to any of my notes. I've got a book full of notes. We'll get to maybe another talk somewhere, but thank you. Have a great day, and we'll see you very soon. Thank you.
The legend Mel Todd. Thank you, Mel Todd. Give him a round of applause.